Hello, rail friends. Thanks for being with Casey and I tonight here on Rail Moments, live trackside at the next crossing. And y'all are going to say, Mike, where are we? Well, first off, we're higher than we were last night. Not because of that wacky tobacco, but because we are up on level 2 of a public parking deck. And this parking deck has a very, very unique setting. Now you could go to a hotel that overlooks the airport or a river or whatever, but here you could go to a parking deck that overlooks a diamond. That thing right there. Hello, Chuck. All right. What you're looking at, or what you are looking at, is control point Hare and control point Middle Dalton. One for NS, one for CSX. That white pole is the CSX milepost 99.0. For NS, we are at right just short of the 40. Hey, Tony. Hello, Tara. And the track that you see that goes up that way and crosses and becomes closer to us is CSX. And the track you see that basically goes straight through and then has the switch on over there is the NS, Atlanta North District. So W&A Sub, where, let's see if we can catch bird brain here. There he is. They are having dinner at the Diamond, looking for all that spilled corn. Now, from up here, we do not well, Tara, that's got to be a automatic let's go thought process, isn't it? And again, we're watching the bird brains look for dinner, and that is spilled corn that comes off the grainers. Got big birds, little birds, and all kinds of birds, and they're looking for dinner. And as the seals on the grain train hoppers let kernels fall out, or when they load them, they have some up on the top. As we bounce along, oh, well, yeah, that does kind of put a damper on it. We have a great big storm headed our way with red and yellow. So we decided not to go underneath the overpass tonight. And we decided not to go underneath the cover at the depot. So we just thought, well, we'll do something different. Now, up here, we do give up the lights. So we won't know if something's coming till we hear it. Or if Crash or someone, Green Bean, anybody, Bag Squatch and all that group. Hello, Robert. How are you tonight? Ain't right? I hope everything's good. Had to mute you there for a moment so we didn't interfere with transmission on YouTube. Okay, we got our first. Sounds like a northbound. Gonna break the ice right here, right now. Look out, pigeons! And that is a perfect example of how the diamond works. You go from that side to this side over the middle. And hence the phrase slamming the diamond, where we got to see The Simpsons and more. And Tara, I can see where pouring down rain would be an issue. Makes total sense why I wouldn't go tonight. Like I said, according to the radar, we should have some rather immense rain here before long. Doesn't look like it's a tremendously long time rain, but definitely going to get hit with some rain. We do have a number of music things going on, so every now and then we do have to kind of mute you just because it will jam up. Sorry there. Anyhow, it will jam up the live when you get into copyrighted music. So, when you decide to drive down the street with a pickup truck that has speakers loaded in the back and have them as loud as possible, that's what happens. That truck is more than 5 blocks away, and I can still hear it. Now, our crossing gates are to the right, and it sounds like they're stuck again because I still hear the bell tone from the gate. Over there are the siding cars that L808 moves around for CSX, takes them down to Middle Dalton and back. So yes, you can probably hear the sound there in the background. That does sound like one of the gates is stuck down. Control point here and Middle Dalton. Tara, since I see Lucas on, Lucas tracked down the tag today, leaving out of Chattanooga on 12Z. And correct me, Lucas, if I'm wrong, but he is headed to Virginia. And Tara, he was second back, nose in on that train. So you've got something else to watch for up there if that's coming to your neighborhood. Well, hello, Ken. How are you? All right, 12Z, Tara, so start watching for it. Coming up your way, the tag, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia Railway. And we are going to travel over to we are going to travel over to Decatur. Hi, Dirk. How are you, sir? We're watching the bird brains. Look for dinner here. They just had a grain train go through, so maybe they got a little extra snackability. But tomorrow and Saturday, off to Decatur, where hopefully we get to chase down the Clinchfield for CSX. That is currently, as of yesterday, still over there on pusher duty, south of Decatur. And some action there going across the vertical lift bridge. And all the exciting action where NS and CSX tracks come together over there in Decatur. Catch the local and watch some switching there in the small transfer yard that they have. So that's on the agenda to leave out for in the morning. Also coming up, and I do not have a calendar in front of me, but June, I think maybe 7th, there is a STEAM event with Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum going down to Somerville. Don't know if John's on, he'll fill us in on that because he will be on it. 110-mile round trip. We got more pigeons this time than we did the last time. Must be some extra grain down there. It's like Pigeon Day at the crossing. Rail Moments trackside, Pigeons trackside. 1-6 up on the track, watches for trains, while the rest eat dinner. Let's see what other news we have going on. Anybody trackside tonight? And I do know we have rain that's supposed to be here any minute. It's coming from behind us, so where we are, hopefully it's blowing from behind us towards the tracks, and we will not have a water problem where we are. Currently, we are running without the dead cat, so you should hear some extra sounds tonight. And maybe you guys can hear the crossing gates that are about a block from us that are stuck down currently. And we are in the heart of Dalton tonight. When I say in the heart of Dalton, we are right smack dab downtown. Downtown on one side of the tracks, downtown on the other side of the track, just off of Peacock Alley, where they used to hang their quilts and all that process, and it became known as Peacock Alley because of all that history. We're here in Dalton. 90% of the world's carpet is made within 25 miles of here. Not as many pigeons on that side as there are on this side. They're at the 99.0 for CSX. If you were to run up this track, when you got to 115, you'd be in Ringgold. About 116.5, you'd be where the General stopped. Another 17 miles once they got past here. They couldn't quite make it to Tennessee. I heard that, Tony. Why don't you tell everybody on the live what snuck through Cowan, Tennessee last night? And I haven't been able to track down any more details, but under the cover of darkness, a strange and unusual train went through Cowan. Tony, were you up? Did you see it? Did you watch it? And I just see someone made the comment, maybe it was you, Lucas. It's Saturday, 9 days from now. So 1 week from this coming Saturday is the steam excursion down to Somerville. And as long as the weather will cooperate, we will film live from TVRM the start of that whole excursion. Tara, did you by chance get your red package today? And Dirk, are you out taking pictures tonight? And if so, where are you guys at? And Crash, are you trackside tonight, or where are you hanging out? Bag Squatch, you guys on? And hopefully our next train will be an NS train, and you can see how the diamond works straight across. And again, that unusual slamming the diamond sound that you all hear. Thanks everybody for all those thumbs up. If you did not watch last night's video, do so, because it was fun. We had lots of fun. The Kansas City Southern that we saw didn't get to Tony until midnight, and we had a double header yesterday with the Penn Central on part 1 and part 2. Our last train of the night gave us a flashlight salute from up front from the train crew. 4004, twice yesterday. And on video 1, part 1 yesterday, up close and personal with the Penn Central and 4004, both of them. Just a mere 20 feet from us. And as you all commented yesterday, boy, does he need a paint job. Tara, if you want, tell everybody about the Virginia event in case somebody wants to make a decision to roll on up there. I think the Decatur event's going to win for me. If y'all move it just a tad closer. I was telling Jesse, since it's a ticketed event, I could run into restrictions with live broadcasting, and I don't want to go up there and find out the hard way. So I'm going to depend on you and Jesse to make sure we get some great pictures. Yeah, it sounds like our gates are still stuck down to the right. There's the Manly Jail Works. And I heard again it's supposed to be becoming a restaurant, but doesn't look like much is happening. Scanner will be back from the shop tomorrow morning, so we'll have that back again. So I guess it's the only thing moving at the moment, although maybe they're getting full. I'm surprised with all that corn down there, we haven't seen a little furry creature with a tail. how quickly the sound changes. All right, we're starting to get a breeze picked up. Recorder was low, so we put some auxiliary power on. We're gonna go ahead and slip the dead cat back on, because as that wind kicks up, y'all get that breeze noise, so we're gonna take care of that. And we're gonna share a picture from today with you from Lucas. .4851, second back, nose in, 12Z, on its way to Virginia to see Tara. So for those of you between here and Virginia, 12Z is on its way, and that's what you can expect to see there. That's what you can expect to see if you catch it. Thanks for sending that in. Lucas tracked it down today, sent me a note. We're much appreciative of that. And I had 15 more minutes before I could get out of the office, because I had to finish a couple things before I leave in the morning. And he left about 20 minutes, or he left 20 minutes before I could get out the front door to catch him there in Ottawa. But it was also, as Dirk said, raining on and off, so may not have been able to do it up at Bootleggers or someplace there, at maybe the water tower in Ottawa. So, see some of the dark clouds starting to come across. We got blue over there, and our rain is coming from the right, but don't know when. But since we're up here, we're hoping that it should start, and it should have already been, according to the weatherman. But being a weatherman is one of the few jobs in the country where you can be wrong every day and still be employed tomorrow. The bungalows for NS and CSX down below us. For the moment, we have sun, believe it or not. Crash, am I to assume that you are at Long tonight, or where are you tonight, Crash? Kit, that is correct. And we do not have the scanner tonight because it's having some updates done. But when we are here in Dalton and you hear them talk about L808, he works to the south of us and then runs up to Rocky Face. yes, he does switch these cars on and off the CSX siding down to their yard, down to the right of us. And then they run up and back and forth to Waxahachie. Sometimes you'll see them. Matter of fact, we saw while we were at the cliff last night, the switcher coming back single, just the locomotive running back down. Waxahachie is where the CSX yard is on the west side of Chattanooga. A lot of stuff comes down from Nashville to there, and then they switch out from there over in Lookout Valley. How are things in Missouri tonight? I'm guessing rainy, kind of like they are here, although I think I guess we have rain again tomorrow and then maybe a day off from rain on Saturday. Somebody had the silver paint out over here. Yeah, 68 is exactly what our temperature is right now here. I'll see if I can show it to you. Too close. Nope, can't do that. But we are exactly 68 as well right now. So Crash is our coal train coming from Tunnel Hill. You are correct. We are between the second depot, the old freight depot, and where they tore down the parking deck where the control tower still stands. And we're at the larger of the two diamonds at Junction Point Hare, about 1 block north of the crossing that we sometimes film at. All right, Tara, I'm going to show everybody. This is a picture just in from Tara. And there you got picture in picture again. But Norfolk and Western, heritage locomotive for NS, locomotive 8103 is up in Virginia for a special event. Tara, you want to tell us about it? I don't want to steal your thunder. And I'm guessing those are from tonight, Tara? And I'll read what she wrote, y'all. 611s, 611. It's its 75th anniversary celebration, May 30th and 31st at the Virginia Museum of Transportation, Inc. And NS has brought the N and W up there. Tara wrote that for y'all. And as she was talking earlier, she was thinking about going out, but it was raining. So I guess she made the decision to do so. Yeah, let's see. These are from Lucas for yesterday. As you know, the Penn Central went through last night along with 4004. And if my memory was right, or is right, that's 178, train 178 last night, where Lucas tracked it down, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lucas, you caught it out there in Wildwood, or Lookout Valley, on the west side of Chattanooga. And then he let me know, and I didn't think I could make it, but he said I could, and he was right by 5 minutes. So Lucas gets a Gold Star Award because he talked me into making it last night to the soccer fields in time at the south end of the debug yard in order to catch him coming on in. And as you know, we could have literally shook hands with the crew. And another rail fan sent this special message in about maintaining special health. So I'm going to share it with you. I guess it's okay. It's G-rated. But if you drink a large amount of water every day, it will help you avoid other people's drama because, and that is a hydration plan to get you ready for summer. Don't know if that's doctor approved or AMA certified, but one of y'all just sent that to me. And I thought, well, it is a hydration program. It is important. So that's our public service announcement for tonight. Breeze is starting to pick up, and all of a sudden it's getting cooler, chillier. Anybody got any questions I can answer for you between trains? Anybody have any questions that they want to ask at all? Don't be bashful. If it's your first time, you are looking at the Atlanta North District track where it crosses with the W&A Sub for CSX. Kind of a unique view. And you got to see it in action. We've had a CSX and an NS, one crossing over and the one going straight through. All right, let's see if I can pull this off. We are going to try and catch the engineer's window while waving in case he might see us up here, which is doubtful. Let's see if we can see in the cab. Again, this will be a challenge. Starting to focus. CSX. rolling out of town there. He started out slow, but whoo, he was gone. Kid, Mama Bear, from where you are to here should be about a 10-minute difference is all. From what you see or when you hear it, and vice versa. From where you guys are. There's the gondola box for Junction Hare. Right next to it, Middle Dalton. One CSX, one NS. Yeah, track speed through here is 25, I do believe, but as you see, once they're past this point, they start rolling again, as he did. Now, we're only going to be here 90 minutes tonight, since I haven't seen Mrs. S all week, and I'm going to be gone for the next 2 days. What is the name of that plant? Give me a moment, Robert, let me think. They're Georgia Power Plant cars. And Robert, RWSX stands for Georgia Power Rail Cars. And I forget the name of where they're headed to the south of us. John was on. He'd remind me in a heartbeat. But if you see rail cars with RWSX, those are Georgia Power Rail Cars, coal cars. As I said, tomorrow, Decatur, Alabama, for the day. And again, hoping to catch the Clinchfield over there on pusher duty. Along with all the fun there, where NS and CSX come together. Tomorrow we will be on the S and NA North Sub Line and the Memphis District East End Line. As you all know, if you watch the Heritage app, there's all kinds of cool things like CSX runs through there for locomotives. Plus, I think there's 5 locals there. Oh, that's kind of a cool cloud. Look at this. Let's see if we can bring this in here. There. One great big white puffy cloud for y'all. And he's catching the rays of the sun where everything else isn't. You can see where the sun goes across, and the above and below point. It's funny, we made the decision to come up here tonight and be undercover because the storms were supposed to be coming from the west and going east. And instead, we've had no storm, no west to east, and no rain. And it's crazy being in the middle of downtown Dalton. You hear birds, and it's quiet right now. It's like everybody else thought it was going to rain, and they stayed in. You can't quite see it, but right there, and the pole's in the way, but there's a round face with a nose, two eyes, and part of the tongue. Little trackside art. On that massive container that goes up a huge antenna and does antenna things. We should run down there and plug our headphones in, see what they're saying. There is John's favorite ice cream and milkshake stop. Okay, we got horn. Let's listen. We had one little horn. Well, can't get in between. It's either all in or all out. Why has this got to be so difficult? Okay, we want to go the other way. Guess we're just gonna leave it as it is. All right, everybody, since we are traveling tomorrow morning early, and since Mrs. S is making dinner tonight, we are going to conclude at 8:45 Central Eastern Time, 8:45 Eastern Time, which is 7 minutes from now. So, and then we will travel on over to Decatur, Alabama. Well, it's sky for Mama Bear with reflection in the background. That's a look to the east over the pretty trees and downtown. That's it. Bowen Powder Plant. That's where that coal's going. You're right, Robert. That's the name of it. BOWAN Power Plant. Good investigative reporting. Yeah, it's funny. It was supposed to be pouring down rain by now and all that kind of good stuff. And we went undercover so we wouldn't get wet. And here we are, all dry. Okay, everybody. There's production 6. There, I'll get taller. All right, everybody. As we said earlier, going to make it a little bit of a short night tonight. Just a couple hours. Promised Mrs. S I'd have dinner with her since I haven't seen her all week because I've been hanging out with y'all. And a special thank you to Mrs. S because I love her. She's a fantastic wife and she lets me hang out trackside with you guys. So, and we're going to get up early. And that's a challenge for me because early is not my favorite time of the day. And head on over to Decatur as we talked earlier. So, if the weather cooperates, we'll be chasing the Clinchfield Heritage Locomotive for CSX and some other fun stuff over there by the Decatur Depot where CSX and NS run jointly across the river. And they're at the end of the Memphis West End. Yeah, excuse me, East End. Because I'll be going west to get there. So, that's kind of it for me tonight. Everybody, have a fantastic night. Have a great Friday tomorrow. Stay dry because, as you know, rain is forecast. But we haven't got wet here yet tonight. We were supposed to be drenched by now. And I do believe the next field trip will be up to that coal plant and up on the CNO and TP because I've not gone much up above Spring City. So I think that's on the plans. So everybody, from Casey and I to all of you, have a fantastic night. We will see you trackside tomorrow. And anybody got any ideas on something they might want to do, just let me know. We'll check it out. And Tara, have a good time tomorrow hanging out with 8103 and all the rest of the folks. And keep an eye out for Jesse. And Eugene, if you have Facebook, send me a note. Kit, you too. And everybody else, have a great night. And I will see y'all tomorrow trackside. And Casey and I do appreciate you. And thanks for all the thumbs up. And thanks for being here tonight. See ya. Hey, happy birthday, Eugene! Everybody give Eugene a great big birthday hello. Eugene, had I known, we'd have gotten a cupcake and a candle and lit it and sung happy birthday to you. Hey, look what we got. CSX truck. Told you those gates were having problems down there. You could replace. Eugene, if you do Facebook, send me a note, okay? Everybody on their birthday should get something from everybody. Let's see what happens here real quick. Well, I have a feeling that that's why he's here to fix them, because they've been ringing all night. We've been able to hear them from up here. Bye, Tony. Tony, I'm with you. I don't want to pay bills tomorrow either. Everybody, Eugene, happy birthday. Send me that Facebook. See y'all trackside tomorrow here on Rail Moments. Everybody have a good night. Tony, try not to dream about paying those bills. See y'all tomorrow.